The 1950s were such a great time in the American history, and what was really cool is that I had older parents that were actually raised in that around that time. My dad graduated high school in the 50s. He met my mom in the late 50s. And in this video, I'm going to digitally enhance one of my mom and dad's photos when they were first dating. This is from 1958, and it's really a great picture, but it's got a lot of flaws. So we're going to work on enhancing that, first fixing it, and then enhancing it in this video. So if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned, and we're going to work on it right now. Let's get to it. Hey there, we're in my den now, and we're going to work on this photo from the past, from 1958. The photo is this one right here. This is a classic 1958 photo, and it's actually of my mom. It was right in the middle, and this is her sister, her younger sister, and then this is a family friend that was there that day. Now, my dad took this, it was during their courtship, and I will probably have another photo that we'll restore of my dad. But here you can see, this is actually over in southeast Portland, Rocky Butte viewpoint. And let me look at this. I'll show you this on what this looks like in Google. So if we look at this website, which is the Vintage Portland City Government Throughout the History Lens, and it's on the WordPress site. I don't know who does this page, but you can look it up online. Have a bunch of historic pictures, and look at this one, Rocky Butte circa 1948. Well, it's about 10 years before that picture, but take a look at this. See this rock fascia here? This it almost looks like a castle. This was clear back in 1948. And I think where this picture was taken in 1958 was right about here, facing out towards the east, according to what it looks like to me. Now, if we looked at Google Maps, here's Google. And so here's Portland, here's southeast Portland. And of course, the Washington-Oregon divide is in the Columbia River here. But if we look over here, right there's Rocky Butte. And over here, there's some pictures. So if I click on this picture, it gives us a little bit of, there's Mount St. Helens, and to the right of that should be, well, this is a video here. Well, that's interesting. But I don't want a video, I want a photo. Oh, that's cool. Here we go. See, there's Mount Hood. So Mount Hood's to the right, and then Mount St. Helens is to the left. So if we look back at that picture, let me bring the picture back up again. Yeah, see this hill here looks familiar. Okay, so if I go to this Google picture here, this picture in Google, it looks like, oh yeah, see right over here on the left, there's this little corner. I think that's this corner that shoots out just a little bit, just like one notch out. And this here, these three, there's 1, 2, 3. I bet you they were sitting right about here, facing out here. You can't see Mount Hood in their photo because it's obscured by clouds, which can happen. I bet you that's Mount Hood right here to the right. But over here, yeah, see this hillside here, or wow, actually maybe this hillside is this. So Mount Hood might be over and to the right. This hill here looks like, yeah, that's what this is right here. This hill right above me, or over here, wherever I'm at, it's right here. This over here is equal to this. So I think this is where this is. So I bet you they were over here facing out towards that way. I don't have a pen, I can't draw for you, but that's where I think it is. If I can draw on this one. Just let me draw. So yeah, so I think it's around this area is where we're looking at, and it's really interesting because right now, like this area now is all built up. I mean, it's not even like, there's so much build up here. Even the bridge way over in the distance, I don't know if you can see that, but There's a lot of stuff that's different from that photo. But it's kind of cool because we're going to go back in time as we develop this photo, or rather enhance this photo, and try and draw out more details and see what we can see in this photo. Because as you can see here, like if I zoom in way back, let me get myself off there so you can see. If I zoom in here, you can see some details back here, but it gets blurry. Plus there's a lot of artifacts. There's little tiny black felt that's probably from their photo album that got onto the picture before scanning. There's some artifacts here. These on the legs, I believe that's just the sun reflecting through this skirt. There's little ruffles and holes in the skirt, so that's normal. But like this little black area here, these little black dots, this white artifact is not natural. And there's something on her face. We're going to have to remove that. So there's some work to be done here, definitely. So I'm going to start getting us going. So first of all, I'm not going to do anything with lighting or anything, because I actually like the shading and the lighting that I see here. Now notice that this is a TIFF file, a TIF. That stands for tag image formatting, or tagged image file format. And all that means is that there's less compression going on, so you don't lose a lot of data. Each time you save and resave and edit a JPEG, you'll have artifacts and things will not look quite the same. It doesn't mean that it's this day and age, JPEGs are so large and so big that you're not going to really notice any loss. But the more you save a JPEG, the more lossless or lossy, the more loss you can get in the quality. So just want to say that. So that being said, let's get started. So I'm going to first, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to first I'm going to get into Photoshop. So let me do that first. Let me get into Photoshop. All right, so now we got this photo here. Now what we need to do is we need to see how there's this white area right at the upper right. Let's see. So we want to take the healing tool right away and get that area. So I'm going to increase this to 30%. Ooh, that's too big. About 21 pixels. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to drag that right along. Now, since it's black and white and there's really not much contrast here, it's really easy. These areas will be really easy. I want to actually leave this big right now because I want to get, I don't know if you noticed that there's a thing that's running across the top here. It's this, I think that's part of it was in the album or it got damaged. I'm going to just highlight this, and just like that, it goes away. Look at that. Now if there's little artifacts here, I could just click on them. It's a little bit, it's almost like painting in a way. We're just brushing it away, brush it away. See, it's kind of therapeutic, isn't it? Brush it away, brush it away. All right. Now we're going to zoom in on this area right here to see. Well, first of all, let's take, well, yeah, I'll just keep going. I'm just going to keep getting all these little artifacts that I see in the sky. I doubt they were birds, so I'm going to reduce this down to 12 pixels. Get that one right there. Get that one right there. Get that and that. Yes. I'm going to clean this up. Clean it up. Clean it up. There's a little tiny bit of a hair right there. And there's a little bit of thing there. I'm going to reduce the size before I do that. Okay. Now these ones, there's some white things in there. I don't think they're UFOs. I think they're actually inconsistencies on the film. There's a little white dot on there, but I think that's on the mountain naturally. So I'm going to keep that there. And I think there's a little line here, but I think that's, again, I think that line is from the photograph, so I'm removing that line. I don't think that was natural there. Could been, but anything that looks artificial or that was some sort of mark on the photo, I'm removing that. So now notice these are definitely not natural. This one here, I'm reducing my size here to, let's say 8. Get that one there on the mountain. There's this thing here. I don't know if you can see it right there, that little white thing. That's not natural. This little hair thing here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay, those 3 things there. Man, all right. And then there's some artifacts here in the concrete. This one, these things don't look natural. Okay, so, and this one over here. These might be little sunbeams, but they just, to me, don't look right. This one here on the skirt. There's another mark here on the pants. There's one on the leg. So it's just, I'm trying now to go through and just clean up things that I see that are inconsistent, like that'll show up. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to enhance this. I'm going to upscale this. And if I upscale it with artifacts in it, it may just make it that much more degraded. And so I don't want to do that. I want to get the best possible quality I can before I upgrade. So now I'm going to get this one on her face. So let's go to, and I don't know her friend's name because we didn't get that. She just said a family friend. So we just don't know. But we know that they valued this person enough to bring them along. Now, incidentally, my dad was the one that took most of these photos because he was the camera guy. He really liked to capture the moment. And that's where I got the other one of my mom and dad. I'll probably do that next, which, by the way, is a lot worse shape than this one. So it's so weird. This mark made it look like she had a clown face, like a clown smile, didn't it? Look at that. So if I take that out, see, the trick is I don't want to take the healing tool uses an algorithm that uses every surrounding side to replicate the environment of this pixel. But when I do that, it looks a little too white. Like it lightened it up too much, and I need it a little bit darker. So I'm going to reduce it to, let's say, I might have to spell this out, 2 pixels. That's really small. Oh, but that actually looks more normal. All right, so let's zoom out. And it still looks a little too dark for me. I'm going to move it up to 3 pixels. And right there. Yeah, that's a bit better. All right, that looks a little bit more natural. Yes. Yes. Okay, so that's good. Little thing on my mom's neck. I don't think that's a necklace. There's a little bit of a bright thing here, but again, I think that might just be the sun. And no, I just noticed they're holding Coke bottles. You don't see Coke bottles too much anymore, do you? It's more of aluminum cans or a plastic bottle with the screw top. So there's, all right, so let's go back over here. Gosh, I love the outfits, don't you? Like the 1950s style. Like these capri, I think those are called capri pants, right? With the short pants, the leggings. And then this one, she just rolled up her pant legs here. But it looks, I mean, and this style came back for a while. Like it came back, let's see, this is 58. So it came back in the 80s. I know that. Then it dropped off again. Then it came back in the 2000s. It's kind of cycles, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do fads, do clothing, do they go in cycles? I think they do. Okay, so now I'm going to notice what I just did there. I got this. This is what this is a flare on the lens or the the film. So whenever it was being developed, we got this flare here. So I'm going to get my face out of there so you can see. I can zoom in. I guess I didn't need to because I'm still in this box over here. But right there. Now, I'm taking it a little bit of a time around this mountain because I don't want it to... See, there's a mountain range back there. I don't want to ruin the mountain because if I come down in here, it'll the healing tool may not heal it correctly. And so I'm just trying to go along the ridge here. I don't want to create a new ridge, but I don't want the ridge to be different. Yeah, okay, that looks good. That looks a lot better. So already this photo is shaping up. And notice how, since I got all those little dots away, you can actually see the right over there, there, you can see the clouds right here. See that? On the right-hand side here? That's really something. That's actually, if I zoom in on those clouds, you can, the software should get them. Oh, there's a scratch here. Let me try and get the scratch. There is a new tool, by the way, that Adobe has that removes scratches. I should just do it that way, but I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way because I'm just clicking, and notice how it's removing that scratch. That's what you want. You want it to just to fade away, but be natural with the surroundings. If I would have did this streak, like if I would have clicked here with my mouse and did a long streak like this, well, I don't know if you noticed that it created a little ghosting there. We don't want that. So I'm undoing that. But if I redo it, you can see it. Undo, redo, undo, redo. See it? We don't want to create something that's going to look like there's a ghost image there. We want it to be more natural. We don't want to change the surroundings. That's what we want it to be natural. We're trying to restore this back to the way it was when they first took it. Okay. Oh, there's some down here. So look down here. There's little blacks, here's a little, I don't think that's grass. And if it is, it didn't look like it was growing right. So I just removed it. So, this is interesting too. Look at right here in between, behind their legs. There's actually, this is way down there. Like it's like way, like this is probably like thousands of feet up. I don't remember how high Rocky Butte is, but I think it's like 2,000 feet. I don't know. Maybe it's not that. Okay, maybe it's not that high, but it looks like they're really high, and you can see them right through here. I bet you when we enhance this, it'll be even clearer. So let's see. I think that's all I want to do on this one. So the next thing we'll do is we'll take this image now, I'll save it, and then we're going to port it over to an upscaler and see how much more detail that we can draw out of this. So let's take a look at that. All right, so now we're in the Gigapixel, and I just want to say the Gigapixel it's a pretty elaborate program that upscales. It also comes with a denoiser if you buy that, and there's a few other photo enhancement tools. It's around the $500 mark is what I spent totally on this. So you don't need that elaborate of a tool. I mean, you can use what I use a Leonardo AI online as well. I'll link to that in the description below. That's a really good tool as well. And there's a free plan with it as well if you click on the link. But I'm just going to bring it over here because I've used this tool for quite a number of years. Okay, so now it's analyzing it right below here. And it's doing an HQ quality. And notice what I have. I have it on 4, which means it's going to upscale it to 4 times the size, which is going to be 5400 by 3600. That's about a 10 megapixel camera. Oh, no, that's not bad. Let's take a look at this. So this slider will show you a before and after. So here's before. And notice as I bring the slider over how clear it's coming. I love this slider idea because it really gives you an idea of the clarity. But there's a lot of artifacts. I mean, if you zoom in here, it did it did enhance it. You can see the Coke bottle. Wow, look at that. It enhanced the Coke bottles a little bit. It also revealed certain artifacts that showed up as part of this cleanup process, like back here, these little dots, and we can clean that up after the fact. We'll clean that up. Let's look up here. Ooh, yeah, I'm seeing some stuff up here too. Why is this line here? Oh, that's my slider. Okay, so what I want to also do is compare. So you can compare the 4 different things they have for upgrading it. The Art CG is for like art drawings, so it doesn't do really a good job in photo. HQ tries to retain the high quality, but because this is I would call it a low quality or a low resolution photo, I could go with the low resolution. Let's take a look at that. I'm zooming on the faces because this is actually doing a face recovery strength of 31. If we do it too much, it won't look natural. In fact, see this Art CG looks kind of artificial. I'm going to zoom it out a little bit. Normally this wouldn't update, but because the photo is such a low resolution. Now you might look at this Art CG and so, well, Steve, that looks a lot clearer. I mean, that looks really clear. The problem with it though is it'll look too artificial. Like if I zoom in, it'll start making things look too not natural. This one, believe it or not, the low resolution looks more natural. Yeah, I'm going to go with the low resolution here, and I'm going to select this. Let's see how this looks. You know, look at the details it brought back in the skirt. Oh wow! I mean, you can see there's a car there, like an old-fashioned car. But as I scroll it, look at that. That's just amazing. That's just amazing to me. Now that's something we couldn't do. Oh, and look at that. Look at down below between the legs there. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Right down there, right there, right down there. It's like that little column thing. Like you can see there's houses down there. Before you couldn't see them, and now you can see them. That's amazing. So it looks like they're moving their feet when the picture was taken. See how it's kind of blurry there? You couldn't see that when the whole photo was blurry. Now you can actually see detail. This enhancement, this upscaler, I'm just so impressed with the upscaling that you can do now with AI, because this is using AI technology to do this. This would have taken, I mean, I don't even know if it was even possible before this to be able to bring back the detail. You could have through sharpen masks, things like that. There's tricks you can do, but this does it within a few seconds, and it analyzes the whole photo. And as long as you have a good original, like I showed you, as long as you can restore most of it to the point that you can get this detail back, this is just incredible. I mean, right here, that just, I don't know, it adds more depth to it too. Like, that's what's really impressing to me. Like over here, what is this? You can't really see it on that. So yeah, you can. Look at the rock, how it brought the detail back into the rock. That's just amazing. And the background. Like if I zoom in out here, look at this. So here's where it is before. Boom. That's incredible. Now some of the stuff it doesn't get right, but it's pretty accurate for what it's getting. I mean, that is amazing. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty good. Now let's look at you can see a little bit of artifacts. So this upscaling is revealing certain things. Yeah, I think I'm going to save this. So let's save it. Okay, so that's saved. It added the word low res scale 4 times to the end of it, but that is pretty good. Wow. Now it looked like my mom's eyes were closed at the time. So, and she might have been moving her head because it almost looks kind of like she has a black eye or something. It's almost like she's, you smile and you just kind of like, like you're just, I don't know. They caught her in mid blink, I think. mid-blink, I think. The Coke bottle looks a little bit wonky. It's almost like I can see her fingers around it. It makes me wonder if this would have been better on HQ. Let's try it HQ. I'm just curious now. Just bear with me. I'm going to save that. And then we're going to open that. I'm going to compare both of these. Okay, so here's that one. Here's that one. So the HQ has a more natural tone to it. It looks like a natural photo. This looks super crisp and clear, though. I almost want to go with this more. See, she has her thumb on this side of the Coke bottle. She does over here, too. I still like the one on the right. It's a little bit crisper, and it definitely brings back the background. It may not look as natural as you would expect, like in a photo of that age, but back then they actually had pretty good photographs. I mean, the film was 35 millimeter usually on these types of photos. They actually got worse in the 70s, if you could believe that, with the 110 pocket camera, 17 millimeters. That was blurry. But these had a lot of good detail in it. And if you actually had good film development processes, you could get super... I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of the old 1800 movies or the 1800 films. Some of the 1800 film back in the Old West days, you can bring a magnifying glass up to it and you can look and see details in the background that you couldn't see. I mean, that's like, I don't know, 20, 30, 50, 100 megapixel. I don't know, but it's a real detail. So if we go back to this one, though, I think I'm still going to go with the low res, and we're going to continue enhancing that because this just looks too good. I mean, look at that. Look at this, just this. Oh, I'm in the way now. Look at that detail of that rock. That's just amazing. Okay, so let's, I digress. Okay, I'm going to go and close this down. Let's open up the one we enhanced with the low res. So we're going to open that one. So we're gonna open that one back up with Photoshop. So here we go. All right, so now we are going to look at any more artifacts that we couldn't see before, but now we can see because we enhanced it. There was some things over here, I believe. Yeah. So I'm just getting a little bit of on these right here. Look at that. Okay, so we're going to get that. Get all these little white. It's kind of like a game. We're playing a game. It's like those little clickers, you know, when you go into the eye doctor and they say click. Anytime you see the light, click it. I'm clicking it. I'm clicking the light. This one's really, I think these are dark clouds over here. Yeah, I don't know about that. This one is definitely an artifact right there. Let's see this is part of that finial brick that comes out, so I'm not going to mess with that. I think I'm pretty much done with that side. Let's go over here. Let's zoom in on my mom's sister there. This could be an antenna over here, so I'm not going to... Oh, I was going to do right in between them. Right there. I think these could be just clouds in the distance, but some of that looks a little artificial. These ones are not natural. These are in the picture itself, so I'm removing those. Getting up here now. Oh man, these are, I'm seeing more things now. All right, so I'm going to get this really big here. No, that doesn't look natural. Oh, and the mountain has a... Oh, I didn't even see this side over here. Okay, so now I gotta reduce the size of this here. Get this. I don't want to mess up these clouds. You see these clouds here? They're pretty cool looking. I don't want to mess them up. There's this little line there in the mountain. I don't believe that's natural. And what I mean by natural is I think that's a flaw in the photograph. Not, there was no line in the mountain like that. And then up in the clouds, we're going to take these out. All right. Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to make this really super huge. Well, that's too huge. All right, like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm too big. Maybe it's too big. That's really big. But I'm trying to make the sky kind of uniformed a little bit up above. It looks like it was slightly overcast that day as it gets in the northwest quite often, in the wintertime especially. So a lot of this up here is just kind of gray matter. It's kind of like your brain, right? Gray matter. I'm just clicking now, just clicking. And again, this is just taken, what it does is it uses an algorithm to take areas around each side of it and blends in whatever's there. That's why sometimes if there's blemishes or dark spots there, you could actually get that in your image, and that's not good. And again, I think I want to leave those there. Okay, there's a little dot over here, and I want to try and get that with a littler sized. All right, I think we got that as best as we can. I'm going to save this again. Now this one, I'm going to call this I'll just save the Photoshop version. Oh, you know, I didn't save the other as a Photoshop version. Always try, if you're in Photoshop, always save your photos with the Photoshop version first, and then save it as, or export it as the, you can do, I'm going to probably export it as JPEG. Okay, so let's take a look and see the final result. All right, well, this was before, and this is after. Before and after. Before and after. Before and after, before, after, before, after. Let's look at them side by side. I'd say that's quite a bit difference. And again, look at their feet around, they're dangling, and there you can see the distance behind them. That's what's really impressive, is how it brought back that detail of the dress and the skirt. And incidentally, my mom and dad, they met in a ballroom in the Crystal Ballroom in downtown Portland. So I don't know if they came back from a dance or what they were going to, but, and it just might be the sign of the times. But anyway, poodle skirts. In this case, it was car skirts. I don't know. And notice the era, the pops, the Coke bottles, just kind of cool. And I love that you can see the distance down here. I mean, again, if I zoom in on this distance, you can see the river. This is the Columbia River. And right out here, I believe this should be Government Island. So there you have it. Before and after. I think we did a really great job in bringing and enhancing this photo. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, click on the like and subscribe. And if you want to see how we took this or how I took this photo to another level, including more enhancements using AI and Adobe Photoshop, and also colorized it, check out this video over here, or maybe it's over here. And I'll see you in the next video.